Working the night shift can be a really scary thing. You're alone in the dark and something always seems to go wrong. Well, that's what these people are here to tell us anyway. Welcome back, everyone. Next, we hear from two Sir men. When I worked at a gas station years ago, so I was a canine officer in a small town, and one night my partner and we're driving around looking for anything suspicious. We came across a dirt road with a huge field on each side. In the middle of the field was a white van with its doors open. My partner decided to check it out because it looked suspicious. As we got closer, we saw that the van doors were wide open and there was blood everywhere. My dog, Sammy, immediately started barking and acting crazy. So I held him back while I approached the van. I could see the silhouette of a person lying in the back. I started yelling for them to get out, but they didn't respond. I told my partner to grab the flashlight and shine it in the back of the van. When he did, we both screamed. There were 7 body bags in the back of that van. As I ran for cover, someone tackled me and we started fighting. My partner kicked the guy in the head, and in the struggle, Sammy bit that guy on the arm. He ran off and we found 7 bodies missing their heads. We chased the guy for a while, but he got away. We never found the killer, but Sammy got a nice steak for saving my life. He would stand by the door staring at me while I'm stalking or doing the lottery, etc. If you liked this video, I'd get freaked out and try to avoid eye contact, and he'd stare even harder. One night he got out of his red pickup and walked towards the door while I am in the back stalking. I quickly locked the doors and called the police. He started banging on the doors and windows, and I could hear him getting closer. Then he stopped and I heard him mumbling to himself. When the police arrived, he was gone. I quit the next day. I'm your host, and these are 4 scary true night shift stories. So I was working the night shift at a 7-Eleven, and this guy comes in and starts acting weird. He's talking to himself and making loud, weird noises. He paid for his stuff and left. About an hour later, he called the store and started making those same noises. I thought it was pretty funny and hung up on him. About a week later, it happened again. Same noises and everything. I again thought it was hilarious and hung up on him. 2 weeks after that, it happened again. I was getting creeped out at this point. I told my manager and he said to just hang up on him if he did it again. Well, the following week, he called again and I hung up on him. A few minutes later, I heard a knock at the front door, and when I opened it, there was a pile of papers on the ground. A week after that, I was getting stuff from the back room and noticed some writing on the wall that said 710 and some random numbers. Then I saw some more writing in the same spot, and it said 710 North Street. That's the address of my home. I immediately called the cops and they did a wellness check on the guy. Turns out he's mentally disabled and has been living in my basement, which is accessible from the store. There were also kitchen knives scattered around my basement floor. Part 1. A creepy encounter at a grocery store. The first to share their story. They were working a night shift at a 24-hour grocery store. When a strange man began following them around, he asked some weird questions like, "Are you married? How old are you?" And just stared at me awkwardly. I tried to ignore him, but he kept cornering me near the back of the store. Eventually, I was able to lock myself in the employee bathroom. But he started banging on the door and asking the same questions again. I grabbed a box cutter and made a hole in the ceiling tiles big enough to fit myself through. I crawled into the small space above the ceiling and he ran off. When the police arrived, he was gone. Part 2. A stalker at a gas station. Part 3. A disturbing incident at a Reddit user. Reddit user The Lucky Moron has this story to tell. Part 4. A horrifying discovery by a canine officer. Finally, we hear from Sergeant Crush. Thanks for watching.